Alright, what's up, Wolfpack? We got the first recorded lift of the day. Just one thing I'm going to say a little bit prior to this. If you watched yesterday's video, you guys will know that there's a blister on my foot. That every time I walk, I felt. As soon as I walked in here today, it popped. And now my left leg is like killing me every time I step. You know, not the best combination for a leg day. Or, well, pretty much a leg day. You know, I got a couple of that, but mostly legs. So, you know, not, like I said, not great, but still getting it done. It's not like it's impossible for me to lift. Like, if I was someone who was like nitpicking, the only annoying thing is that motor recruitment's going to be a little worse because there's going to be a lot more pain there, but besides that, there's no major difference. So I'm just gonna go a little lighter on exercises where I'm kind of on my feet, like a standing calf raise or something like that. But this one, I don't know if I said I'm doing hamstring curls, but like this one shouldn't be too big of a deal. Yeah, I'm not really on my feet a whole lot on this one. So, yeah. Sorry in advance if stuff isn't as perfect, or I'm not doing stuff as heavy as I would without the shitty leg right now. But right now we got 70 pounds on the machine, just doing a warm-up set. Do however many I feel like, and then we'll get the first working. I actually need to feel this out. Okay, should be good for now. We'll move it up to 160. I think that's what I was doing prior to last leg day, before the last leg day that I did, where my hamstring was feeling a little iffy. But the only question that I have today, the only question that's been asked to me was by my friend literally like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, maybe 5 minutes ago. He called me up because he wanted to play Terraria, and I told him, no, I'm at the gym. I got more important things to do. But we got to a point where he wanted me to answer a question, so I'm doing it now. And low key, it's a loser question, like a real chud of a question, if you ask me. And honestly, I'm gonna feel like a loser for even repeating it, but it's fine. It's not that big a deal. But the question was, do I think Palm Beach Pete is Epstein? And if so, why or why not? I basically said it there. But first of all, it's definitely Epstein. Palm Beach Pete, the name is a government psyop that's trying to deceive people of, figuring out that he's still alive. And if you look at the face, it's 1-to-1. If you look at this bottom row teeth, they're 1-to-1. If you look at the pictures in the 90s, they're very, very similar. He's been at Epstein parties. So, like, let's think about it. I'll be honest. No, I think, like, that all the stuff I just said, that was low-key just a joke. The guy's obviously not him. I guess I can't definitively prove that it's not him because I don't know the guy. And, I truly am just going based off of everything I've seen. But in some sense, I could see, I could definitely see it being possible that it is him. But I think there's way too much that we know to where it'd be kind of, it's unlikely that Palm Beach Pete is Epstein. But low-key shitty question. He spent like a good 3 minutes thinking of that one. So, you know, maybe next time spend a little longer so I can answer a good question. But yeah, that was the only question I have. Now I need to think of other stuff. I low-key was so kind of focused on that right now. What can I talk about? So first of all, before I say anything, if you want me to answer your question next, leave it in the comments, and I'll most likely next time I record, I'll answer it. Considering, you know, the people who comment, it's a relatively small amount, so I could probably answer every question that you guys need or that you guys have. If I ever become like a big guy, like where I have like 40 people in my comments, which to be fair, that's not like crazy big, but like it's like comparatively to where I'm at right now, it's a lot bigger. Like then I'd probably be a little bit more selective in the questions I'm asking. You know, I probably won't be talking about Palm Beach Pete if something like that were to happen. But you know, as of right now, I'll answer pretty much every question that's in there because I don't really got much to talk about. In terms of the day in the life video, you guys aren't going to be too happy, but I still didn't record it. I think I have the like kind of the framing down though of how I want it. I kind of want to. So I think I'm going to film it on Thursday, just because Wednesday is another pretty busy day, which is kind of the reason I didn't like filming it on Monday, because like all the clips I had were kind of like 6-second snippets from class between class. So I'm thinking Thursday, and then you guys could see what I do when I'm not at the gym and when I'm not at classes. But I besides that, it's also kind of a nerves thing, really. Like even when I was getting ready to film it today, I was getting nervous. I was like, man, I'm gonna look like a weirdo. Like, because one thing I do, I wanna show you guys one of the meals I eat, because I basically eat the same food every day. But I was gonna show it, but I was like, man, I'm gonna look like a weirdo just eating in front of a camera with no commentary. Like low key, it was kind of just me getting in my own head. I guess in a sense, it's a lot. It's like it's the same thing where you know, a lot of newbies to the gym, a lot of them will not want to lift just because they feel like they're being watched, which is not true. But like, it's a lot easier said than, you know, to actually think about that. You know, like you could say people aren't watching, but like it's such a subconscious thought, and you're the only person kind of that you are constantly around where you're basically judging yourself through and then putting it onto the lens of other people, if that makes sense. So I feel like I kind of need to either stop overthinking or learn how to stop being nervous. So I feel like that's really the biggest thing holding me back as of right now. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something completely different. Anyways, I'm going to get this first working set out of the way. We'll see how many I can do. My guess is 6. If I get higher, I'll be happy. If I get lower, but it's good form, I'll still be happy. All right. Okay, I'm gonna end it off there. Feel like I was really gonna grind out that last rep. If I went for another one, I feel like that was a good place for me to end. One thing I will say about today, it's a lot busier than I thought it would be. You know, like, I'm kind of going a little, I'm still like doing the regular exercises that I normally do, but like, I'm doing them in a very unconventional order. Because usually, or well, I shouldn't say usually, it's only been 2 days of lower days, but every lower day I've done, I usually start with some kind of calf movement, because I feel like my calves are a real weak point in my physique, considering I haven't trained them in basically a year. So I try to put them in the front, but I couldn't really put them in the front today. So instead, I did a little bit of a leg press, which I guess in hindsight, now kind of thinking about it, I could have probably done my calf raise on a leg press. But, you know, that's just me not thinking straight, I guess. I was panicked. But, you know, one thing, if you know some kind of fitness content, or fitness, like you just have some kind of smarts in the fitness space, you know, it's not going to be the crazy of a topic, but if you think something's kind of lacking in your physique, you know, hit it in the first set. At the end of the day, your motor unit recruitment and your overall just fatigue, you know, your fatigue is so low at the start of the lift because you haven't lifted. So you're going to be able to push yourself the hardest on that first set, or even on just the first exercise in general. So why would you waste it on like a dominant part of your body? Like, for example, I feel like my quads, you know, maybe this isn't the greatest example in the world, but considering I literally hit quads first today. But normally, you know, I wouldn't hit quads first because it's the most dominant part of my entire leg. Like, I don't know the specific muscle name for whatever's right here. I want to say it's rectus femoris, but I could be way off. But like, this is such a dominant part in my leg that it's almost idiotic for me to hit any quad movement, because I'm just wasting the fatigue that I could have, or that I, hold on, I'm like jumbling over my words right now. Hold on, I gotta recollect myself real quick. Okay. So, you know, if I were to start with a quad movement, I am wasting the value of it being my first set and my first exercise on an already dominant part, compared to where if I were to start with my calf, something I consider a weak point in my leg, then it allows me to use the minimal fatigue efficiently, because now I can kind of boost my calf a little bit further than, closer to my quad, then make the discrepancy even larger, if that makes sense. So, you know, if you're somewhat into lifting, I would say probably like 2 years at least. But if you're 2 years in, take a good look at yourself. Think of what you think is good on your body in terms of muscles, and what do you think your weak points are, and just flip your program into something where you are hitting your less dominant muscles, and then you'll probably see a little bit more even growth throughout your entire body if you continue to do that. You know, the one anecdote I do have is that when I did the 30-day challenge, I mainly did a back movement over anything else at the start of the lift. And like I said, I haven't said it today, but in previous videos I talked about how my back is probably probably some of the best growth I've seen in a while. Like, my back now looks like somewhat, but you can see somewhat of a V taper in there now compared to what it was before. And, you know, at least in some sense, because I was starting it so early, and, you know, I was using pretty much all my energy, or as the max amount of energy I could use on that lift. I think it allowed for the muscle stimulus to just kind of, you know, work a little bit better. So, like I said, put your least dominant muscles first in your program, because it'll even out your muscle distribution, or not distributions, but it'll even out like the growth in a sense. Anyways, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant there at that point. I'm still gonna do 160. Didn't get anywhere close to 10 last time, but we'll do that. Considering I think I got 7 last set, I'm gonna get 6. So similar to what I expected last time, but this time a little bit more fatigued. So I'm expecting 6, but we'll see. All right. Wasn't a big fan of that last rep right there, but that's the end of this. I'll turn back on the camera when I got another lift ready, and I'll see you guys then. All right, what's up, Wolfpack? We're doing something a little unconventional. Hopefully I'm in frame. If not, sorry. But like I said, it's a pretty busy day, so we're doing some SLDLs, or at least my best attempt. I don't usually do these, and you know, maybe it's not the best for my legs. My goal is to kind of hit some hamstrings, and I'm pretty sure this hits the hamstrings a little well, considering it's just a hip hinge. But maybe I'm hitting my back, you know, an extra time than I should be, you know. So this could just be me not knowing, and I'm just hitting the third back, or well, a back where I'm not supposed to. But you know, when it's busy like today, you kind of just get in what you can and call it good. And like I said, I don't usually hit these often, so we're starting super light, and you know, I'm kind of just gonna get a feel for the exercise, you know. But I'm pretty sure it's just that. I forgot to tell you guys, it's 25 on each side, so it's not like super heavy, but I'm pretty sure I'm doing it right here. Okay. Yeah, that was definitely way too light for it, if I were to do a working set on that. You know, I mean, in terms of how I feel it, it's definitely feeling it in the hamstrings more than anything. So we're gonna stick with this, and this will be the last recorded set of the day. Woo. I don't even think I've ever been up like kind of near this deadlift area in general. Not usually one to deadlift or do any kind of deadlift, as I don't really find them too enjoyable. You know, it's cool moving weight, a good amount of weight, but I don't really find them the most enjoyable, like I said. But we're gonna throw a plate on, kind of go from there. There you go. This is also another reason why I don't like deadlifts. It's low key a pain in the ass to get some plates on. But like I said, we're gonna get it done. There we go. Hopefully I'm not taking up too much space. Like I got the camera a little far away. So I'm low-key worried about the people doing tricep work. Am I in the camera? I don't know, maybe. I feel like you just see my body. Hold on. Can we move it slightly? Then you guys can't see the weight. Man. Here. Hold on. Sneaky. Actually, nah. That's not gonna work. You know, it'll do. I'm not. You know, I'll just bend down when I'm talking to you guys for now. But man, I really don't like bending down. I was doing my calf exercise, and my knee was, I don't know, something must have happened because I was doing the eccentric on one of. I'm not doing that. Yeah, you guys, you know, I really kind of want to make it work. I mean, I can't really see the screen well on my camera, so I'm making way too big of a deal out of this. But yeah, going back on what I was saying, on the eccentric of my calf raise that I was doing my seated calf raise because I kind of realized that I could have just used the leg press for the calf raise. But I was doing that, and then on the eccentric of my first working set, on my last rep, well, it wouldn't have really been my last rep. I definitely could have done more. But on my last rep of that, my knee, like, something must have happened to where, like, my knee almost went inwards. Like, if you look at my leg, it was kind of like that on the end of it. So I really was like, yeah, I think, I mean, I instantly ended that set right there. I still did another one because I was like, I definitely could have done more. Like, I didn't even feel fatigued at that point. So, fun fact, I actually went up in weight, which maybe in terms of, you know, me trying to be a little injury safe isn't the best idea. But like I said, I kind of had an idea that I definitely could do more. So I still did it, and my leg's fine. Not super worried about it, but you know, it definitely something I'm a little bit gonna focus on next raise or next calf raise. Man. Whew. What else can I talk about? I guess I can talk more about the bulk and stuff. So actually, since yesterday, I've been getting a lot of stuff saying that if you're fat, just any kind of fat, and you're in a position where you just have love handles, which I fit in that category. You really should just be cutting, you know. And then their whole thing is like, why put on more fat if you're already fat? Which it sounds, you know, it makes sense if you think about it. So I'm still gonna do the bulk because at the end of the day, you guys voted on it. I'm not gonna discredit your vote just because some people are saying, hey, if you're still fat, you should probably cut. So I'm gonna do it, but I'm probably only gonna do it for like summer, which, you know, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like when you think about cutting and bulking, usually you cut for the summer. But yeah, I'm gonna bulk during the summer, and then I'm gonna when I get back to here, probably sometime August, we're going on a good cut. I haven't thought about a cut because, you know, I'm more focused on the bulk right now. But I am gonna go do kind of a quick bulk and then a pretty long cut, or in some sense just until I can get to a point where I'm in a good like body fat percentage. At the end of the day, one thing I've kind of stuck by since I've been like in the gym is that your weight really doesn't matter. Like a lot of people before they get into the gym, they're like, oh, I wanna lose weight, but it's really more of just a body fat percentage thing for what people want. Like they're expecting, if they just lose weight in general, they'll look a lot leaner. But really, it's just like a body fat thing. Like, you know, I've been lifting for 2 years now, and I'm still pretty fat. Like I'm pretty sure, like BMI wise, I'm in the overweight category, which you might not be able to see it because of the shirt. But I'm telling you right now, if I did like a DEXA scan or something like that, I'd probably be 25-26% body fat. Which, I mean, I'm not like too overweight. Like I'm 1% away from the normal range. But, you know, it's still overweight. You know, it's still a percentage over. But main goal there is that if you are going to the gym expecting to lose weight, you should really focus more on your perceived body fat percentage. Because at the end of the day, the body fat percentage is what's going to make you look more lean and not. I'm going to get into the first working set now. I don't know. I don't really know what to talk about right now. But we're going to try this again. Hopefully, you know, form seemed somewhat well on the warm-up set, but it was still a warm-up set. But hold on. I'm gonna move this a little bit. Oof. I hit the rack right there. So still my first working set, but don't want to keep hitting it. Okay. Man, I feel weak. I mean, overall, I was pretty happy with that set. The last rep I did there, my knees were bending a little bit. Just kind of why I ended it a little earlier. But, you know, it's not something too crazy. But low-key, that was kind of a hard set. I don't know how I feel. Because right now, what do I got? 185, which I mean my deadlift is 305 last time I did it for one. So I guess in a sense it's not really that crazy of how many I did there. But you know, I don't really know what I was thinking. I was like I guess in my mind I was thinking I was gonna do like 4 plates no problem. But I don't think so anymore. But I am gonna throw on a 10 each siding. That's where we'll end off. Whew. But I might add these into the program if they're mainly a hamstring exercise. Because as of right now, I just do a laying and seated leg curl. And I feel like, you know, I'm kind of just hitting the same movement, just different position. So I'm going to do a little bit of research on this kind of deadlift. And if it is dominant in the hamstrings over anything, then I'll add it as a hamstring exercise. And if it's a back, I'll probably just implement it from time to time. Because I did feel it slightly in my back there, which Could be good, could be bad. I don't really know. Like I said, I got to do a little bit more research on something like this. Whew. So now we got 205. I'm not going to do it right now, as per usual, but I need to think of something else to talk about. I was thinking more about doing like the coaching stuff, and I was really reflecting on seeing my thoughts on certain things and how it kind of coincide with coaching. Because there was a topic I talked about like not too long ago where I said just buying workout programs is kind of a scam, in my opinion, because you can easily, I guess I am slightly biased in a sense, but I feel like it's pretty easy to just make a workout plan on the spot, rock with it, and as time goes on, you make adjustments according to your weak points and your strong points. I still kind of stand by that, but kind of the whole point of coaching, up to my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong on this, is that I basically give people workout programs. I'm not going to be a nutritionist. I feel like, in a sense, I'm not the best nutritionist. I eat like shit already. So why would, I don't think I don't qualify as a nutrition expert. And like, going back to the program stuff, like programming is something I kind of feel like I have the biggest understanding of. I have some kind of idea of what to hit first, why we do certain movements over others, and all that. So I feel like, honestly, I'd be going back on my word if I became a coach, because in a sense, I'm kind of playing into the scam that I think there is. But I also have been thinking about it, and like I said in last video, like, although I say I know a good amount of like why we do certain exercises over others, like there's the coaches that I follow, or well, I shouldn't say follow. It makes it seem like I'm paying for them. But the coaches that make content that I follow, they have a much deeper understanding of why we do certain movements. Like, I would say one thing that me and the coaches I watch just kind of completely agree on, and kind of know why, is putting your weak points first in the lift. I'm not going to go over that rant again because I already went over it at the start of the video. But like, I don't really, like there's Keenan Malloy, the guy that made the Keenan flap. Like, there's people who are adding to the exercises and why it could be optimal in a program. And I feel like I kind of want to be there, but in a sense, if I wanted to make a coaching business work, I'm selling people a program basically. So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna do some research, and maybe I'm biased, and because I've kind of just spent pretty much all my time lifting, I've gone based off of my workout program and my just kind of my knowledge on what's good and what's not. That's how I go, but I don't know. So, like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on if I go any further in coaching. It is something I'm really interested in, though, in general, just because, like I said, I do want to get a deeper understanding of what I actually am doing and why I do it. So, like I said, I'll keep you guys updated. But I'm going to do this last working set, say my stuff, and we'll go from there. We got, like I said, 205. We'll try and go to failure. If my knees kind of give out like they did on the last set that I did. Or, well, I shouldn't say give out, but like they kind of mess up on the last rep that I did on the last set. then it'll probably be a similar situation where I just end it right there. All right. We're gonna end it off right there. Maybe I could have done a couple more. Maybe if I had lifting straps, I could do a little more. But I don't have them on me right now. I don't feel like going back to my bag and getting them. But that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, and share with your favorite coworker. If you want to follow me on other platforms, there'll be a link tree in the description. Make sure you do your laundry. And I'll see you guys Thursday.